Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. I hope everyone is having a great morning. I hope that you can see and hear me okay. I'm just going to take a peek on my phone. I am hoping to have a special guest today. He's not on here yet. When I do an interview, it's always a little tricky with the technology, with getting a third party system to connect to Facebook. Okay, looks like I'm okay and you guys can see me. Send me some hearts if I'm okay, if you can see and hear me today. Let me see the comments. Debbie, hello, good morning. Jeff, hello. Ann, Sandy, Mary, Gina, and Holly. Hopefully we can get a little bit in before your client gets here. So my special guest, if he's able to connect, is Jordan Kee. You may have seen him all over Facebook. He is in forums and jumps on, I think, even more than I do. His company is Real Beauty Bosses, and he also has another site. Of course, I'm not going to be able to remember it right now. I was hoping that he would be able to introduce himself with that, but it's salon marketing for professionals, something to that sort. But what him and his partner, Katie, do is they provide for hairstylists and salons the ability to market themselves on Facebook. You guys have heard me in the past talking about how when you think that you're advertising on Facebook, when you boost a post, it's actually just a complete waste of money. So Jordan has all kinds of ideas and information on how to properly promote yourself. He works with lash studios, with hair salons, with spas, massage businesses, just all kinds of beauty professionals on how to get themselves out there and create a demand for their services. So we have connected. I was interviewed on his page and I wanted to have him on mine as well to share with you just some of the insights on setting up a proper Facebook ad. I've connected with a lot of people after my coffee chats that say, help, I need help. And then when I tell them what it takes to get an ad up and running, it's crickets. I don't hear back from them. So guys, nothing is free and nothing is without some work. But if you want to be busy behind the chair and you want to make the most of your day and not have those big gaps and holes where you end up in the broke room, sitting in the back room, complaining that you're not busy, then you have to pay to play. So it is going to cost you a little bit of money, but it is the best investment you can possibly make because the return on your investment is usually a minimum of 5 times what you spend. So if you spend $20 on a Facebook ad, you get $100 back in new client revenue. So it's better than going to the casino and putting it on red or black. You know that you're going to get a return, but it needs to be set up properly. And there's a bajillion buttons in the back end of Facebook. I break out in a sweat every time I try to even go on and look at my results and the measurements of my ads behind the scenes in Facebook. It takes a lot of know-how and a lot of patience to check those measurements. When you first put an ad up, Facebook will test it. They'll put it out and they'll test it to see, who's clicking on it. Is it effective? And then they'll give you an answer. It's called A/B testing. They'll say, this ad did better than this ad. And you take the one that did better and then you put more ad spend behind it. It's actually pretty simple and pretty magical when it's done correctly. So we've talked about this in prior coffee chats, gone are the days of, tell 2 friends and I'll give you a free haircut. And, that all is great. And you can work your actual client base as well as you possibly can. But at some point, which is what happened to my salon, we've been in business for so long and we retain our guests for so long that they run out of friends and coworkers to send you. It's basically, you know, they've already shared you with everyone that they know. So barring them, you know, taking out an ad in the local paper and shouting your praises to the rooftops, they don't have anybody left to send you. So I think you should always have a referral system in place, and absolutely ask your current clients, especially newer clients that maybe you haven't talked to, about referrals. And we also talked about reviews. Most of us are not taking the time to actually come right out and ask our guests for a review. It sounds cheesy, and it's like you're asking for praise, but there's a reason they're coming to you. And most clients are more than happy to do it for you. They just wouldn't think of it on their own. They're not going to leave your salon and say, oh, I can't wait to get in my car and go on Google and leave a review for Elaine. It's just not going to ever happen. But if you went above and beyond, they enjoyed the service, they're smiling from ear to ear, you can tell that they're really happy, not necessarily on their first visit, but maybe the second or third visit when they say, oh, I'm so happy I found you, or something to that effect. Just saying to them, you know, I really love seeing you. You know, I would love to meet more of your friends, your coworkers, your family members. If you could, you know, send me a referral. We have this referral program, whatever that may be. Ours is very generous. We give the new client $25 towards their first service, and we give the referring client $30. We reward the referring client even more than the new client, because that's what makes them want to share. Sometimes if you don't do anything for the referring client, then they start to feel unappreciated and they just stop sharing you with others. And as far as the reviews, just simply asking, you know, I would love for you to share your experience on, you know, we all have this love-hate relationship with Yelp, but if you saw one of my recent coffee chats about saying that I stand corrected with Yelp, I've interviewed 2 people who are kicking ass in our industry. They are blowing up. Their brand is like everywhere. And when I asked them, what was the catalyst to putting you on the map? Both people said Yelp. I know you're rolling your eyes saying, I hate Yelp. I hang up on them. I hang up on them all the time. They call all the time and they want you to pay for advertisement. But Yelp as a free business tool, just asking people to review you on Yelp, can be a game changer. Clients, what you guys may not realize, and I didn't realize, is that Yelp is a search engine just like Google. So when someone types in best hair salon in Conshohocken, or best hair salon near me, best hair color near me, Yelp is one of the search engines that's going to be going through looking for an answer, and it's going to pop up. And they're going to go on and read about you and check the reviews. And unfortunately, they're going to trust the reviews more than they trust you. So you want to make sure that you always check your Yelp page and make sure that the reviews are hopefully, you know, 90% positive. You're going to get that one client that goes on there and rants about something you had no control over. One of our negative reviews was a girl was having her birthday and she set up a blow dry, and we had a major snowstorm. So I had to call it whether we opened or closed the salon, and it was dangerous. You know, I didn't want my employees driving. I didn't want the clients driving. So I made the call to close the salon. And this client already left her house and was on her way to the salon before we made the call. So she got there, and of course the door was locked. She was aggravated because she went out in the snow to come to her appointment, but that's something that was completely and totally out of our control. And we had no way to prevent that. And she went on Yelp and said, you know, I had this appointment for weeks. It was my birthday and they didn't even notify me and blah, blah, blah. And there was nothing that we could do, but that's one person out of, you know, how many. So it looks like my wonderful guest has arrived. Let me get him in here.
I made it.
First of all, thank you for waking up at the butt crack of dawn. Jordan is in Arizona. I am in Florida. So he had to get up very early to join us.
7 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
For the wait, I was trying to get my audio and everything working.
That's okay. We both know how this works. We always have some kind of glitch. So I introduced you. I could not remember the other name. I know the Real Beauty Bosses. And then what's the one with the salon word in it?
So we have 7-figure salon owner that we do with Jerry Watkins. And so there's kind of like 3 entities that we work with, which is Real Beauty Bosses is the overarching, business where we're providing the education all up front and free. And then we obviously have our mastermind program. And then we have 7-figure salon owner with Jerry, where we work with the salon owners, and high ticket esthetician with Sherry Callahan, where you've probably seen her yelling in front of the camera as well.
So you have a lot. You've been a busy, busy boy. And what I
That's
started
right.
to talk about when we were waiting for you is, for me, what got my attention with you and Katie and what you guys are doing is, I know from being an online course creator how powerful Facebook advertising is. I'm meeting
Right.
people from Australia, from the UK, from all over the world. It's crazy and intense and like magical to me that you can reach all these people. So for us as salon owners and actual individual stylists, you have brought this ability to people to create these packages, to do these simple, easy Facebook ads and little mini funnels. Most people watching right now are not in our world. They don't know what a funnel is. They don't know how to do Facebook advertising. And the problem is, Facebook is so smart that we put up a picture, the standard picture, of a girl holding her hair up and the hair looks pretty. And Facebook says, this post is receiving so much attention and more than any of your other posts. Click this magic button and boost it, and you're going to reach 1 million people. And everybody pushes it. And then they say Facebook ads don't work. So you take it from there and explain the difference.
Yeah, well, you're 100% right. I mean, today's day and age, I think, like, whether you're using Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, you're on Pinterest, you're on any of the social platforms, I don't think like it's as specific as to how you do it. And I think at the end of the day, the game is all attention, right? So like if Facebook dropped tomorrow, I don't think we'd be out of luck, because we know how to market ourselves as individuals and as people, And so I think at the end of the day, you can rely on things like that to give you the extra volume you need and the extra attention you need, but it shouldn't be something that's completely necessary, I think, which is surprising, because like that's the heart and soul of like what where our roots lie, is creating results through those platforms. But I prefer, and I like to teach beforehand, like if someone's getting off the ground or growing their business, you shouldn't like rush into doing Facebook advertising. Like you should be able to figure out like, how can I just get my name out there? How can I get myself into my marketplace and meet people? Because that's all we're using Facebook for in the first place, is to just meet more people, right? And I think a lot of people like skip that when they, use Facebook ads. It's like, oh, this will be the magic button that just saves my business and makes me $1 million, right? And it can happen very fast, when you get things dialed in and you're getting it running and you're getting the attention, the traffic, whatever you want to call it. But if you don't know how to talk to real life human beings, and you don't know what to do when these human beings come to meet you for the first time, and you're not good at talking to strangers, it's going to be hard for it to all work for you in the first place, right? So I'd say like Facebook advertising is like absolutely allowed us to just blow up out there and get in front of a ton of people, which is amazing. But at the same time, we wouldn't be able to do that if we didn't get started somewhere first, if that makes sense. Like we grew our business grassroots marketing, like going to B&I events, meeting people and networking and talking to people. And then from there, we took that investments we made and put it into our advertising. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
We go, of course, like get into the technicalities and things like that. But obviously, like I'd say, like if you want to learn how to run, successful advertisements and things like that, you just have to figure out, how do I get attention? Number one, how do I create the irresistible offer that's going to get people to come into the door? And number three, like what's the way that I follow up to just get in front of that person? Because at the end of the day, those are the only things that matter, is setting the appointment and doing the appointment. And so when we all try to work on our branding, we try to work on, how we're going to write our Facebook post and things like that. We want to do what works and we want to model what works. But at the same time, we're only trying to set the appointment so we can do the appointment. I think everyone else, like, they get very confused with all the other things going on, but those are the only things that matter, right? Would you agree with that?
I do. And something else that I've seen too is a lot of stylists are starting to they're emulating these Insta famous hairdressers and they're seeing what they're posting. And then they're starting to post that. But that is to get the attention of other hairdressers. That's not going to get a client to say, oh, wow, I want her to do my hair. So I think there's a lot of crossover, absolute confusion in our business right now. And what I loved, I watched an interview, and I apologize, I don't remember her name, but she had bought an existing salon. I think it was like last week. And you guys were talking about how she just goes into different groups on Facebook and sees people that are looking for like mom groups. What was her name? I can't remember.
Bree Holt. So she's like been one of our first salon owner students, and man, that girl is a hard worker. Let's talk about me waking up early this morning. She wakes up at 5 a.m. every morning so that she can do, easy, simple tasks in like getting in local Facebook groups and building her business that way. And she's doing the ads in the background. So she's just like multiplying her methods, and she's owning the salon. So she's got a lot to worry about. And so when people say like, I don't have the time, I don't have the money to get started, like that it's so untrue. It's just a big lie we tell ourselves, right? And like 100%. Anyone can figure it out. You just have to be, willing to do what it takes to do so, right? But your question was, that was Bree Holt, and she's over in Fort Worth, Texas, Nova Hair Studio. She's awesome. Love her.
And is she even a hairstylist, or did she buy the salon and she's not even doing services?
She's not anymore. She's moved more into the owner role. But she was, yes.
Okay. I didn't know if she was just investing, because everybody always thinks it's so fun to own a salon. I thought maybe that was the deal, but she's hitting it hard and she's doing really well. And it is that simple that, people, I just always call the back room the broke room, because everybody just sits in that, break room, just ruminating over how slow they are. And, it's August and we're always this slow. And I'm like, no, if you start in June and your August is going to be slow, and you start popping into these little, mom groups and local book club and whatever it may be, Facebook, without even paying, to your point, for a single ad, just knowing where all these people are and popping in and joining and saying, you know what, have the next book club meeting at my salon. Let's have it there on a Sunday when we're closed, and let's offer the women complimentary oil scalp massages, just some kind of way to get them in the door and to experience the vibe of the salon. It's really not that difficult. Right. I think the online world of marketing and all the opportunities that we have, people have forgotten how simple just face-to-face, hi, nice to meet you, the good old days, like to your point about the business networking events. People hate going to those. It's always so awkward. But anytime I'm at an event, at least 5 people say, oh my gosh, I love your hair color. And it starts that conversation of, oh, I'm a colorist. I would love to do your hair. And then boom, you have 5 clients, and you were going to hear somebody talk about, something completely unrelated to hair.
I think at the end of the day, it's all about finding out how you can get in front of your ideal clients and solve their problems. Like, find a way you can start talking about their hair color, find a way, if we're talking hair, that's what you need to do. Just find people that, a place where your ideal local target market is going to be hanging out, and just find a way to talk to them like normal human beings. And I guarantee you, when you tell them what you do, something will come up about whether they're interested or not. And then you take it from there, right? And so that's really what we're doing with Facebook ads too, is like, we're just putting ourselves out in front of our ideal target market. And we're basically, I don't want to say we're using some sort of like trickery or bait or anything like that, but we're doing something that expresses, hey, are you struggling with this problem? Or, hey, like, are you wanting to fix X, X, and X? Here is the solution to that. And here's an irresistible offer if you're interested, right? And all we want to do is get them to just raise their hand and say, I'm interested, right? And then from there, it's our role to take over, right? So Facebook ads, like, very, 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 very rarely will ever get people booking appointments and just coming in without you talking to them regardless. So you need to get good at talking to people is what I always
I'm so glad you brought that up, because when we did the ad for my daughter's salon, she ran a Facebook ad. She made it an offer, which was $100 less than what it would be normally. So it was a very generous offer. And she was able to go into the back end and see like how many people clicked on it versus how many people actually picked up the phone and called. And when she picked up the phone and reached out to them, because they filled out phone number and name, phone number, and email, I think it was, she picked up the phone and said, "Hi, I saw that you were interested in our special offer. I'd love to set you up for an appointment." And every single person booked. And that's the extra step that people don't want to take. They want the magic beans, the, you know, Jack and the Beanstalk. It's like, oh, magic. They're just going to show up.
They don't exist, right? Like literally, if I didn't know how to talk to people and I didn't know how to get my message out there, like ads wouldn't work for me, right? Ads wouldn't work for you. Ads wouldn't work for anybody, right? It's very rare. Like unless you're running an e-commerce business on really low margins, are you ever going to be able to, you know, run an ad and make money directly from that ad without talking to people, right? And so like I always recommend, like if you're fresh out of beauty school, if you've been in the industry, you know, even if you've been in the industry 10, 15 years, but your clientele is slow, like it's only because nobody knows who you are, right? It's only due to obscurity. And so the fastest way you can grow your business is actually just finding a way to get in front of people right now, not waiting for your ads to work or dial in, right? So we always say, like, if you want to get clients right now, you need to go into Facebook groups and you need to go network, and that's it, right? And then when you're making some money and you're ready to maybe ease the load of the ability to go do that, then you can look into your Facebook advertising. And when you're ready to do that, you know, you need to have that strong in the door offer, because that is everything. Like you have to be willing to give on the front end, maybe even lose money on the front end to create that ideal long-term client, because that's where your money is as a stylist, right?
Yep. Absolutely. And that's the other thing. Every stylist that I talked to, I met a girl in person, and anybody that follows this coffee chat knows the story. I offered to do her hair because she had just moved to the area, and she said, "Does anybody want to trade? I don't have money to get my hair done, blah, blah, blah." So she's like, "I'm at this salon. I know nobody. I'm starting over again. I moved here from another state." And she's like, "I'm just sitting here." And I'm like, "Well, what are you doing to get in front of people? Like, they're not just going to show up." Like if I didn't have the exact GPS coordinate to get to that salon, I wouldn't have ever gone there.
Right.
So she was saying, "Well, I'm doing Facebook ads." So of course you can go in and see what people are doing in the page transparency. And I went in and there's nothing there because it was a boosted ad. So I said, "No, you know, this, you're boosting and this is what that does." And then I said, "What was the actual ad that you think you had?" And it was the logo of the salon. And I'm like, think about it. You want your hair done. Like for me, I wanted to find someone here in Florida to do my color.
Yeah.
If you think for 1 second that I'm going to scroll through Facebook and see a logo of Betty's Beauty Box, stop cold and go, "Oh my God, I need to make an appointment." Like there was nothing about that post that made me want to reach out to you. Like make it an offer, make it a beautifully done, you know, before and after, just something to make me stop and say, "Why you?"
Exactly.
So just putting a photo of the salon or the logo or just a picture of a girl's hair. No, that's not advertising. And then they're like, "Facebook ads don't work." And I'm just like, oh my God.
It's the biggest lie that you tell yourself, is like, it's because we try things, and if we don't know the full structure of how it all works, and like, you know, we try it and it doesn't work, like our brain just like shuts it out. "Oh, this doesn't work. Like it makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to do it anymore. Right. I'm going to try something new, shiny object." Right. And so like the secret was like, you just didn't take enough time to do it the right way, or you didn't learn from someone who's had the success to do it. Right. And so like when it comes to creating, I guess, a good ad, like you said, a logo is not going to drive you business, right? Think about what your ideal target markets is going to want to see, right? You know, here's the thing too, like if you're, let's just say you do men's haircuts, if you're sharing women's haircuts to men, that doesn't make sense, right? So like if I'm on my feed and I'm like scrolling past you, you don't want to attract someone like me, right? And so like, I'm not going to stop for it. So you need to kind of get in the minds of who you're looking to attract and think about, like, first of all, what's going to make them stop in their feed while they're scrolling, most likely, maybe on the toilet, right? You never know. But what's going to make them stop, and then what's going to actually pull them and entice them to want to actually exchange contact information. So that's all we want to do through our ads, is not like get people to PM us and message us and, you know, give us a call right now. Like we want them to do that, but we need to do it in a methodical process that kind of like gets their attention and then indoctrinates them along the way, and then gives them an offer in exchange for contact details, and it actually does get them to pick up the phone and say, hey, just saw your Facebook ad on Facebook. I wanted to claim it right now. When's a good time to book my appointment? That's what you want, but it all has to start with putting the right image, the right message, the right advertisement in front of the right person, right? So I'd say like 3 steps to a successful Facebook ad is going to be making sure, one, you're in the right location. So when you're setting it up through the ads manager or whatever, all that behind the scenes stuff, you want to make sure that like you're dropping a pin on your location so that you're not like going out and about into the whole marketplace and things like that. Maybe you're doing just a little radius around your location, right? So that way you're not making people drive 10s, 15, 20 miles to come see you. That's probably not going to happen for the long term, at least. You got to be thinking the long game the whole time, right? So location is super important. The next would be like the targeting. So when I keep saying like your ideal client, you need to know who that is. Like literally, if you don't already know like who my ideal client is, who do I want to be seeing in my chair every single day? Like if this is the person that I'm looking to clone and see coming back for a year span of time or more, who does that look like? So one activity we always do is like literally write down like who is that client right now.
Right. Describe the person, the age, where do they shop? What do they, like to do in their free time? It's very specific. And I can't stress that enough. Like in my membership with my students and my Hair Color Secrets Insiders, I'm like, don't just be everything to everyone, because you're going to get, like a men's haircut and then a kid's haircut and then an updo and then an eyebrow wax and a blow dry. And you're just like all this mishmash. And then you're getting these little mini tickets all day long where you can do a balayage and haircut and it be, $250, $300.
Right.
You can work a lot less hard physically, see less guests and fill your book more.
Oh yeah.
And then they're going to be, more loyal people who come in for color. God bless the women with the gray coverage. They're amazing. Every 4 to 5 weeks, they don't have a choice but to come see you. They have to give up something else in their budget because they don't want to walk around with a stripe of gray down the center of their head. So
and that's why I think
can't underestimate that.
That's why I think it's important too to like set goals for yourself, so you can kind of reverse engineer and figure out what you need to be generating per ticket, so you're avoiding that, right? One of the absolute first things we do before anything is like getting to know your numbers and setting a goal that is a big goal, not a little wimpy, I'm comfortable at this point kind of goal, right? Like we want something that's going to actually inspire, motivate us, and keep us on track to where we're going to go, right? So finding out how much do I want to make per month, we need to know those numbers, or we're just kind of throwing shit at the wall till it sticks, right?
Yep.
We need to know that number. We need to know what our average ticket price is right now. And don't lie to yourself, right? Like what is your average ticket price right now? And divide your monthly income goal by that. And that's how many appointments you need in a month, right? So if we were just to do that, for example, let's say I want to make like $10,000 in a month. I'm just going to do some quick little math here. I hope you don't mind. So if I want to make 10 grand in a month, and let's just say my average ticket price is like $100. I need to do 100 appointments in a month to make 10 grand. If my price is that, right? If I can find a way to raise that price, I have a lot less appointments to do, right? But with those numbers being said, that's what I need to do in a month. I usually like to get it down to the week, divide it by 4. There's 4 weeks in a month, right? Now I got to do 25 appointments a week. How many days a week do you work, Elaine?
None right now, but I'm not like, behind the chair. But I was doing 3 days. I was doing 3 days behind the chair.
So if you were just working 3 days, you'd have to have about 8 appointments a day on those 3 days you're working to make 10 grand a month. If you weren't selling product, you weren't selling retail, and your average ticket price was $100. Now, if you changed your ticket price up, you'd have less appointments, right? And if you change your income goal up, you need more appointments, right? And so like, I think it's really important to kind of set those targets and goals for yourself. Like how many appointments do I need at what ticket price to be able to hit my income goals do I need, and what type of clientele is going to allow me to do that, right? And so that's always where I think it's the best place to start, is to be able to get clear and focused on your numbers and get clear and focused on that vision and that goal. So that way you're attracting the right clientele. They're walking in, you're taking control, and you know in your mind what you're looking to do with that client. You're the expert anyway, right? And they're going to leave your chair happier. They're going to leave your chair giving you probably more money. And also like you're going to build a more ideal client base that doesn't drive you crazy, right?
Oh, we all have that pit in the stomach feeling when that certain name pops up on the book. And most of the time, the person that we dread the most doesn't add to our business in a positive way. It's like a guy that we've done since beauty school that comes every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, and he's always late. He's always changing his appointment. He has our personal cell number and he's like, oh, squeeze me in. Every one of us has had that guy.
Yeah.
Women do it too, but there's always that guy that you have that week. You're like, oh, I've been doing him since beauty school and he's so nice and he tips me well. And they're like the vampires of your energy because you'll squeeze him in between two women that were going to pay way higher ticket price for color. And now they're pissed because they're sitting there freezing cold with a wet head because they just had their color rinsed and you're not ready to style them. So I think like getting that 30,000 foot view has always been good for me as both a business owner and a stylist behind the chair. I'm like, okay, what am I doing that's really draining me and not serving me to reach that 6-figure level? And when you break that down, exactly how you just did in my program, I say, if you're a commission stylist, base it on 200,000. If you're a suite owner and you don't have, anybody to pay out to, of course you still have expenses, but base it on 100,000. But when you want to reach that 6-figure mark, it sounds so big and so scary. And then when you break it down exactly like you did, it comes out to be like, you have to charge $70 an hour and you have to work 3 days behind the chair, 8 clients a day. Like that's so doable and so easy, but you have to kick out those kids cuts and those little like things that peck at you that you get flustered and the kid's spinning around in the chair and you're sweating and you're cutting digits off your finger. Like we're wasting a lot of time doing a lot of stuff that isn't going to push us forward to the next level. And that's, they're the perfect people for the new people just starting out who want anybody that will sit in their chair.
You got to get experience, right? And so I'm 100% with you on that. I think, why try to compete with everyone else who's doing the same type of stuff? Like find a way that you can be unique and different and charge that price that you're worth, right? And everyone thinks like, oh, well, I want to charge what I'm worth. And, I'm just going to raise my prices. You have to be good at what you do to be able to do that. And you have to be confident that you can create the result for the client that they actually want, right? And if they're getting what they want and what they need, and also they're having an amazing, incredible experience when they come see you, they'll spend the money. It's worth it to them, right? There's people who, literally spend hundreds of dollars for haircuts and stuff like that, right? It's obviously not where you're going to start, but if that's a goal for you to do that, like set as a goal and figure out how you're going to get there and what type of clientele is going to be the route to get you there. Because if, you're in the wrong, you're doing kids cuts all day long, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to do hundreds of haircuts to be able to make 10 grand in a month, unless you have a way and you're doing it that's going to get you your numbers. So you got to get clear on your numbers, or you're just lying to yourself almost, right? So I think that's one of the big things in the industry that I've noticed after doing all these interviews and after doing this for the past couple of years is, there's no real education in this industry in regards to how to run a business, on how to talk to people, and how to set goals that actually get you jumping out of bed in the morning, right? And so I highly recommend, like, anyone who's watching this, like, you got to get your mental game on check, right? And you got to get your routine in check, and you got to get what's up here in check if you want to be able to hit any goal and stop just complacent, right? We don't want to be there. We want to go above the curve. And it's not that hard to do. You just got to do a little bit more than what others are willing to do, right?
Absolutely. And one of my favorite things to share with people is stop accepting what's on your book and just getting all defeated. Like when you look ahead a couple days and you see that big, scary white space, you have a 10 o'clock and a 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Everyone's knee-jerk react. I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people that are not successful, their first reaction is to call out sick or to go to their boss and say, can I move that 10 o'clock down to 6 o'clock? And can I come in at 5:30? And I'm like, you're never, ever, ever going to be successful with that model. You get your day to yourself, but you get your day where you can't go shopping or go out to lunch or go hang out with a friend because you have no money. So instead of doing that, look ahead as many days as you can and look out a minimum of 3 days ahead. Look at that big, scary hole and do a model call. Throw an ad up on your Facebook page looking for models and make the model fee $25,
Yeah,
cover the cost of your
exactly.
product
Yeah.
and say, we're looking for models for a photo shoot. Everybody's all into the Instagram picture and everything. They're like, oh my gosh, model. I'm going to get a chance to be a model.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
gets them in the door. It gets your hands moving. You're getting more experience. And then you have the time to take a killer photograph to have content for your social media. Don't waste those hours going to Marshall's and get yet another black shirt for work, which is what most people do at that time.
Yeah.
So I also recommend, I tell people, look 3 days ahead. If you see that one of your favorite clients is that person at 10 and you don't have anybody until 5 or 6 o'clock, call that 10 o'clock and say, hey, Jill, I see that you're in with me on Friday at 10. My appointment after you canceled. Do you have a girlfriend that would want to come with you? And I'm willing to offer both of you 50% off your service, because now you're still making the same amount of money that you were going to make with that hole. But now you have a brand new body in your chair that you have the chance at booking another 5-6 weeks for the rest of the year.
And I think a lot of people are not wanting to do that because they think, oh, I don't want to work for free. But it's like, if you're creating another appointment out of that, you got them in the door for free. It didn't cost you anything to create a long-term client. And every single client opportunity should be a referral opportunity, should be an opportunity for you to get product in their hands, should be an opportunity for you to establish a real life relationship with that person that's going to reap benefits later on. And so like any way you can get in front of people, the better. Never just, sit and do nothing in that time block or just twiddle around on your phone. Like that's just useless, wasted time. Like one of my mentors says, like, white space on the calendar will lead you to the devil. Like, that's when like the worst things happen, is when you're not busy, you're not doing anything, you've got nothing to do. That's when like doubts creep in. That's when fear creeps in. That's when like, you find things to worry about that you probably shouldn't have even worried about. So like, book your calendar packed. And if it's not booked, go find a way to get in front of another person. That's it.
Exactly. There was a question that I want to bring up here. So I don't know how to pronounce that name. Annalie Santiago. How do you even learn to do ads?
How do you learn to do ads? Well, I guess the first thing you can do, if you want to find someone who's already doing it successfully, which I would always recommend. Anytime I want to learn something new, I find someone who's doing it very well, and I figure out how can I model what they're doing. Because there's no point in learning it from scratch and trial and error and wasting a bunch of time and money doing that when you can just find someone who's already doing it successfully, right? And so that's the first thing I would recommend. But if you are looking to just start from scratch, what you can do using the same process that I was just sharing with you, like you were saying, you can go and find successful Facebook pages in your area of other salons or people that seem like they may be doing good work, or maybe you've even seen their ads pop up on your feed. And you can literally go to their Facebook page, go down to the page transparency tab, which is going to be like down on the right if you're on a computer. Click on that and go to the ads library. And it'll show you a preview of all the ads that they're running and all the ads that they're spending money on. Now, this isn't to say that they're working or they're making a ton of money from these, but if you see that an ad is like running or that it has been posted for a certain amount of time, I believe it tells you that, then you know that like it's probably working for them if they're still spending money on it.
Right. They would drop it by now if it wasn't.
And so you can kind of model that to create something that you can, obviously don't copy and paste it, but see like kind of what's working for them and make it your own, if that makes sense. I'm all about like not trial and error. That's how you get old and broke, rather than just finding out, what is someone doing successfully and how can I model what they did so I can just leapfrog ahead and figure it out, right? But other than that, like model what works, check out local pages in your area and see if they're running ads, or if maybe you've seen their ad come across a couple of times, it probably means it's working for them. Go see what they're doing. And then when you're ready to set something up, always have an eye-catching image, which is either a view of your work. Some of the best actual photos we see are either with you with the client, like smiling, right? Because that's what people want to see. Or pictures of your really, good before and after work as well. And then you have to have a strong offer. And what I mean by that is like, not like slashing your prices in half, but you need to like stack value of what you're offering and have some sort of, incentive for them to do it right now, right? Because if you're just like everyone else, come try out, let's just use Bree's salon, come try out Nova Hair Studio. And it's just like a picture of you, and like, no, I don't have any real incentive to
No call to action.
Yeah, right?
No urgency whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
maybe check that out at some point.
Exactly. So you've got to have the call to action. And then, if you're bound on a budget, like I believe you can just set up like using a Facebook lead form and doing it that way, but always try to exchange contact information. Don't just sit and wait. That's the biggest problem I see people do with ads is like, they'll just turn it on and just sit and wait. Hopefully this works, right?
Right.
And so that's like the ultimate no-no. Like find a way that like when people interact with your ad, that they're giving you contact information, that they're reaching out to you. So you have some form of follow-up strategy for that. That's what I'd recommend to learn how to do ads. And you can YouTube it too. Like literally all the information.
Leanne says, hey, Elaine, is there any chance you're going to be at the Premier Philadelphia show? Yes, I am teaching 2 classes on Sunday. I believe it's 1:45 and 4:15. So check out their program to see exactly. I think they're both in the same classroom and both on Sunday. So I hope to see you there. Rhonda says, these live talks are everything. I love learning from the adept knowledge you share from the business aspect of this industry. Thank you. Thank you for watching, Rhonda. And Anna, this is so great to hear. I've been doing hair for 30 years part-time and want to build my clientele now that my kids are grown. That's a whole other thing, is people coming into it that have, a lot of experience, but may have been out of the game for a while. What a shocker to come back into the industry as it is right now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't envy people in that situation because it's so different than it was for me. I've been doing this 33 years and it was always so easy. I never struggled with building a clientele, but now it's so different because everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people are leaning on social media to choose their person. And these stylists like Anna that have been in it a long time, have a lot of experience, they're not working Instagram and Facebook every day because that's not how we were brought up. We look at that as like, oh, a way to keep in touch with a high school girlfriend and see their kids,
Yeah.
So we're at a big disadvantage. And luckily there's people like you that are doing things that are kind of bringing our attention to what we need to do and making that an easier thing to do, a little bit of a hand holding. Like you were starting to say, I'm sorry I interrupted you with that question, but you can Google anything and you can learn anything, but who has the time? Like if you're a busy hairstylist, you don't want to have to sit and take Facebook ads. I know I don't. And that's what I need to do for my job. But I sit there and I'm instantly like nodding off within a couple of minutes because I'm a hairdresser. I want to watch video of somebody doing a cool technique and do what I really want to do. And I want to pay someone to do what I want no parts of.
Right. I think there is a dichotomy to that too, like you can always, like, I would always recommend, like, if you can and are willing, like you need to focus on what you do best. And if you can find someone to do something that is going to save you time and make you money in the long term and it's worth the risk. And if you've seen results, like there shouldn't be much of a risk. Right. But if you're willing to do that, go do it. But at the same time, if you want to figure it out and you want to do, use what you have and, just work with what I've got right now, it's possible to do. You just have to have, I think it all comes down to the big enough goal. Like if I don't have a big enough goal and I'm not working towards anything, hell no, I'm going to nod off during doing anything. Right. That was me half of college. Right. Because I didn't have any clear vision or goal of what I wanted to do.
Like,
right. Now I'm waking up at, 6 a.m. to come talk to you. Right.
To come talk to me. Here's Dana. I love Dana. She's a beauty. She's awesome. I have a question about the discounting your service. Says, I'm always said that I would never discount my services. So what else would you suggest I could discount, possibly product or include a highlight in their service? So
what I'd recommend for this, so everyone, like, there's a dichotomy to this as well with discounting your services. Now, what I usually recommend is like, we're not just wanting to discount a service. We're wanting to stack everything that goes into your appointments and more so that you can create something new, something high incentivized, something that like it's more of like an offer. Like if I just gave you a candy bar versus a whole bundle of candy bars, like that's way more valuable, right? And so I wanted to find a way to like stack my value, create my little new client type of basket almost with like, you're going to get a consultation. You're going to get, I don't know, head massage, the shampoo, the conditioner, like let people know everything you're doing along the way through the appointment, through your advertisement, or through when you're getting them in the door, and then stack the value. That allows you to charge more, and then you can discount that. And it allows
That's
you
exactly what we did with our ad, and it was so effective. We spent 140 in ad spend and we got 2,100 in income. And it was exactly what you said. We said, enter and have a cappuccino with a flavor of your choice.
That's
and then receive an oil head massage, to relax you before your appointment. And then you will receive, a color service followed by an expert style and design. We just sugared up everything. And then we said, if you added all these things up, it would be this. And then we took $100 off of it, but it was never going to be that price anyway, if that makes sense. What Jordan's saying. You're adding value.
It's a new offer, right? Like that's all it is. Like if I sold you just this iPhone, like as an iPhone, and let's just say, hey, it's a $500 iPhone. That's probably not getting you excited about it, right? But if I say, hey, this iPhone has every ad that I've used on it to make over $1 million worth of clients, to generate 5 to 10 clients for every single client that I've worked with. This is going to have all my favorite audiobooks, podcasts, everything I've done to make multiple six figures at a young age. I'm going to give this to you. Everything. These are all my secrets in here. Is $1,000. It makes it way more valuable, and you're like, well, what is that stuff all worth, right? It makes you kind of think about it, right? And so that's kind of what you want to do with your services. Like literally from the moment someone walks in, what are you doing in your appointment? And how can you get that across to someone so that they see, wow, like they're doing oil head massages, they're doing, foot rubs, they're giving me wine while I'm there. Like whatever it is that you do, it's like, that's the little things that stack up in someone's mind. That's like, whoa, really pushes them over the edge and makes them to take action, right?
And then it doesn't make it look like I totally get what Dana's saying. We're taught from the beginning in the industry, don't discount, don't cheapen your brand. But I agree with that. But I also agree with giving things away completely free. There's a difference between
to get a client,
come experience my world and let me show you how great I am, than $5 off. I 100% agree with the don't do $20, $5 off. Like I'm not going to leave my hairstylist for $5. And if you're willing to leave yours for $5, you're probably not my client anyway. If you're that frugal that $5 is making you move, I don't want you either. Right. So there's definitely a difference with how you word it and how you present it, and just getting creative. Like I love the idea of the model call. It's just present it as just, we're looking for 3 models on Friday, September, whatever. And it's like you fill up so quickly. And what happens too is other people in the salon that, you may be the slow girl that nobody sees on the salon floor because you're busy shampooing and doing towels and doing all that stuff. Now these clients see you in action. They're watching you paint hair like a boss. They're seeing you be confident. They're seeing the whole process of the before, during, and after. And then they're like, oh, wow, I'm going to send my daughter to her. So it's like seeing you busy. It's like a visual, thing that makes them believe in you more than if you're sitting in the back room saying, oh, can you send somebody to me? I have nothing to do. I'm slow.
I mean, bottom line, like you need to do whatever it takes to get in front of someone, right? Like whether it be working for free. Katie and I grew our business by doing model calls ourselves. We talked about it yesterday on our training in the group. Like literally what we did is we started by working for free because we were like 20 years old. Who is going to trust us with their money, right? And we got our hands on some people, got some experience, created amazing results, and then turned those people into lifetime clients who led to referrals at one after another because we treated them to the highest level of standard that we could and provided amazing results. And bottom line, like you don't want to continually discount your services, but if that's what it takes to get someone in front of you, just do it. Like don't think about it. Just get someone in front of you and figure the rest out later.
I agree. I think that's it. So does anybody else have a question for Jordan while we have him here?
Give me some questions.
Dana said, okay, that makes sense. I love this. I came in late. If this was discussed, definitely using this. So Dana, make sure you watch the replay. We just talked about all kinds of things to get people in the door. I remember in my beginning days going to so many networking events that it was exhausting.
Yeah.
But it really does work because you end up meeting one person.
It only takes one, man.
It takes one person and they come and experience it. And then all of a sudden their whole office is coming to you. Their whole, if they play adult sports, like some people play adult softball or flag ball or whatever. And then all of a sudden they're talking about the experience they had the night before getting their hair done. And then you have the whole softball team. So
you got to get people talking about you. If no one's talking about you, like, that's bad, right? Like your business could just lay flat tomorrow. If you lost all the clients you had right now, do you feel like you'd be able to get more tomorrow? And if that answer is no, you better get to work, right? And that's going to help you too. Like having those skills and having those ability to do that is going to make you more confident, and it's going to make you more likely to charge a higher price, and it's going to make you more likely to attract your ideal clientele and say no to people that aren't a good fit for you, right?
Here's another question. Where do you find these networking events?
Meetup.com, meetup.com. You can find like literally anything from BNI events there to like, I don't even know. They have singles events. They have like moms events. Like there's so many different weird events in your area that you have no idea exist. I promise you that.
I've been on there and I'm like so excited. I'm like, I want to go to this. I want to go to that. There's like those painting on glasses, painting on canvas. Like for me, just moving to a new area, I don't know anybody. So the first thing I did was go on that meetup site and I was like, oh my God, I could be busy. My dance card can be full all week with these things. So it's just ways of getting people all together in one space. For those of you that aren't in the business world, Jordan keeps referring to BNI. It's a business networking event and they're in every town in every city.
They're everywhere.
Just look up BNI and they'll usually have like one realtor, one restaurant owner, one mortgage broker. Like they don't like to fill it with multiple people from different industries, and they're always looking for hair people.
Yeah.
Because of us hair people aren't looking into business networking events. It's a perfect segue to get in there. Right. They talk about what's going on in the area, different specials that they have, and then you can cross promote with the other businesses. Like we cross promote with restaurants in our area where we meet them at these events. And then we say, hey, next time you guys have a wine and cheese event, can we give gift cards to our salon to all the people that show up? And that's been great. We've gotten a lot of clients from that.
Create that win-win, right? And I think the thing is like, you said like, I'd love to go to those events. Oh, those sound really fun. The thing is like, you can look at all the events and you can say how fun they look, but you got to go and show up to the event, right? And so I encourage anyone who wants to increase their clientele right now, go to meetup.com, put in your preferences. It literally asks you like what you like to do. So I can find stuff that's suitable to your likes and your wants, and literally just sign up for 2 events and just show up and see how the experience goes. Like just make the commitment and just do it. Because I would say like so many times, like, when Katie and I were networking hard, and we moved here to Arizona like a year ago. We didn't know a soul. We didn't know anybody here. We tried to grow our business just from social media and behind the scenes type of stuff, and we really weren't getting any traction. The moment we started getting ourselves out into our local community is when things really started to shift and change, because we got more confident, we got better relationships. Like I said, it only takes one to start to get you into more branches and networks and things like that. And that's how we met Jerry Watkins. That's how we met Sherry Callahan. That's how we met some of our biggest partners right now that have led to the biggest, fastest amount of growth in our business. And finding ways you can do those, cross networking, cross marketing, cross referral programs and stuff like that. That's how you build your business fast. And it's
and it doesn't cost you anything. Everybody always says, oh, I don't have the money for that. Like the cross promoting costs you nothing. We trade it with a local, we don't do nails or skin or anything, just hair. So where I go, this is in the past, where I went to get my nails done in PA, I said to her, hey, at Christmas time, how about we exchange gift cards? I'll give my top 20 clients a gift card to get a pedicure with you, and you give your top 20 a gift card to get color with me. And that was great. It was a win-win. It cost both of us nothing but our time. And I said, I want you to pick your top people. I don't want these $5 couponers. I want like the women who come and spend and tip you well and are great clients, like be selective. So it's really easy to do. And as far as the connection, I just wanted to share one more thing. A good friend of mine Haven't talked to him in 20 some years. He created the game, The 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Are you familiar with that?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was in college. Him and his buddies sat around. They were like just doing the typical drunk, mumbling about whatever. And they're like, you know what? You can connect pretty much any actor to Kevin Bacon within 6 steps. So I just interviewed him for my membership because it has nothing. My program is all about hair color and the business of color. And that has nothing to do with color, but it has everything to do with building your, people behind the chair and reaching new clients. Like there's 6 people you can reach from every single person that sits in your chair, minimum of 6 people.
Oh yeah.
So it's so cool how he's never been stumped. Like anyone, you can say like the little guy that played Tattoo on, what was that show? The little midget guy, the plane. I can't even remember the name of the show and you're too young to even know what it is, but it's such an obscure little actor that was only in one show and they're able to connect him to Kevin Bacon in 6 steps. So we're all connected so closely. And if we just put ourselves out there and ask to meet their friends and family, like just ask.
And the thing is too, like no one wants to like network, and no one's ever going to say like, oh, that's a great idea when it comes to networking, because no one actually wants to do it because it's one of the hardest things to do. But the more often you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And the more those connections just light like wildfire. And so like, I highly recommend anyone who's watching, who wants to grow their clientele, who wants to make more money, get yourself out there, sign up for the events and just go and figure it out. Right.
And even if it's terrible, like usually you get a glass of wine and a little thing of cheese. Like there's something that you get from it, and don't overthink it. Don't look at it as like a blind date. Just
exactly.
I always say to people, I was being interviewed for a podcast, and the girl is beautiful that's on the podcast. I told her she looks like the girl, the beautiful blonde that's in the Leonardo DiCaprio movie with Wall Street, Wolf of Wall Street. What is her name? That beautiful
like
blonde,
Margot or something.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
she looks like her, right? So she said, I'm getting ready to go to the Behind the Chair show, and I'm freaking out over what I'm going to wear to the award show. And I said, you know what? Just think about this. Every single person in that room is having the exact same freak out that you're having.
Yeah.
You go into a room and you think that everyone in there is way more confident than you, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got their drunk monkey on their shoulder telling them a story about what's going on.
That's what we talked about in our interview too.
Yeah. Everybody's thinking the same thing. So if you go in and just pretend that you're confident and you own the room and you're the first person to reach out your hand and say, hi, I'm Elaine. Nice to meet you. Of course it's uncomfortable for me as much as it is for the other. Everybody's uncomfortable.
Right.
Nobody has that much of a powerful personality. They can walk into a room of strangers and own it. It's very rare. Even celebrities.
They're all thinking what you're thinking, which is like, what are these people thinking about me? It's all those little, like, I think we talked about it, the little guy whisper in your ear, like, the biggest thing you can do is just shut that off, just go and start the conversation and see where it leads. Right. And if you're shy and if you don't like, talking to people, the only way you're going to get out of that is to get out of your comfort zone and just start doing it. Right. Like I used to be shy, which is nuts. Right. I'm in the front of the camera like 5 days a week and I'm yelling in front of people. Right. But I used to be so quiet and so shy and all those things. Right. But what inspired me to start getting myself out there, start networking, and start building my business is my goals and my why behind those goals: to take care of my family, to build a future for myself, to take care of my kids when they arrive, right? And to never have any, like, I don't want my kids to go through what I went as a child, right? And that why for me makes me do the things I don't want to do so that I can grow and build my business and build my income and build my network. Your network is your net worth. So if no one knows who you are right now, that's probably why you're struggling, right? And so the fastest way you can do it is go get in front of a group of people. Just start starting conversations, right? Just ask questions. Like, that's it. It'll lead
and
somewhere.
The beauty of going into a brand new room where nobody knows you is you're making a decision to be who you want yourself to be. It's like, be who you want people to talk about. And you don't even have to, whatever your normal thing is, if you're like a wall hugger, I always say, if you're the type that like slinks across the room and hides in a corner, just make the decision that I'm going to this one event and I'm going to be outgoing, even if it makes me crap my pants afterwards. I'm just going to be the person that I want to be just once.
Right.
And then you end up connecting to somebody and having the best conversation you've ever had that you never would have had prior to that. And again, knowing that the person on the other side of the conversation was thinking the very same thing. And they're so relieved to have connected to you.
Yeah.
We always just need one person, one ride or die. Take somebody with you. If you're uncomfortable going alone, take somebody with you that has nothing to do with anything. They're just your support system, and they'll stand with you and make you look like you're, engaged in a conversation, and then be the pair that welcomes the solo guy. Because I've been in those situations where I'm at an event where I teach and I'm totally alone. And then I go to the cocktail party after and everybody's in these little groups, and you feel funny just walking up to a group and saying, "Hi, can I be your friend?" But so if you know that's how you feel and you're in a group, be welcoming to that single person.
Well, what you can do is research, find someone that'd be willing to go to the event with you, like you said, or like talk to the leader of the event and just let them know, hey, this is like one of the first times I'm doing this. I'm a little bit nervous. I'd love to meet some people. Like, what do you recommend is the best way to do it? The leader of the event knows everybody, right? And so if you get in tight with them, just start the conversation. They're going to introduce you to people and do the work for you, right? So like, just make the hardest step, which is just talking to one person, going up, showing to the event, and bring someone with you, or talk to the leader of the event, and you'll be good, right? And just have normal conversations like real life human beings. We were put on this planet to connect with people, not to sit and be wall huggers, right?
Exactly. I love it. Well, we went long as usual because you and I can talk about this stuff all day long.
Absolutely.
So I don't see any other questions. I think everybody's just saying they needed to hear this. This is great. Oh, and it's Fantasy Island. They gave me the name of the show is Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island.
The plane. So Chelsea says, I'm so much better at being the wingman versus in the spotlight. So nerve-wracking. Just got to do it. Yep. It's just like anything else. You just have to take a deep breath and put out your hand and make eye contact and shake their hand and say, hi. It all starts with, hi, I'm Chelsea. That's it.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. And then the other person will take it from there. Yeah. And some of the best friendships were formed just that way.
I mean, one good thing, like before we go, I know we're going long. I would say, like, if you're really super nervous about it, and this is what you have to be good at doing online too. So like networking online and offline, they're really the same type of thing, except in offline, it's real life, face to face, right? And so what you need to do is get good at asking questions. So one thing that I did for a really long time to get good at it was I wrote down like some questions, like 7 questions that I really just like got cemented in my brain. Like, where are you located? How long have you been in the area? Do you have kids? Do you have a wife? Like, what do you do for work? Like simple questions like that like can build rapport with people and get them talking. That's what breaks the ice for you. So that's what worked really good for me when I was like really nervous and overthinking everything. How many of you guys like overthink everything? I know everyone probably here does, right? Mm-hmm. The best way you can do that is just kind of prepare yourself and just focus on these little things that are going to ease you into it. And then the rest takes over, right?
Now tell our people tuning in how to reach you if they want more information on what you do on Facebook ads or marketing, or they want to reconnect with you.
Yeah, well, I'd say just come join our group. You've got an interview in that group if they haven't seen it. So the Salon and Beauty Pro Marketing Education Group.
That was the one with the salon word that I was trying to get out of.
Yeah. You. Okay. Yeah. Salon and Beauty Pro Marketing Education Group. So we do like weekly trainings in there. We do weekly interviews in there. There's so much free content in there that you can learn how to set up your ad. You can learn how to network. You can learn, how a salon owner did $30,000 in a week this past week. Like there's some amazing content in there. And if you want to learn some more about us, we have free resources on our website too at Real Beauty Bosses. That's realbeautybosses.com. Where you can just check out our free resources. We got free books, videos, all kinds of stuff. Like we're all about giving as much valued information out there for free as we can that most people would charge for. So I'm super happy to be here, and I'm super happy that we've connected throughout this online networking type of thing, right? That we can, provide that value and help a lot of people. So I hope everyone got at least something they can go take home and implement to go get a client here today.
Thank you for waking up at the crack of dawn for us.
Absolutely.
And hopefully people jump over and join your page and stay in touch because you do have amazing content. It's like a full-time job. I could spend an 8-hour day on your pages looking at all the videos. That's all I do when I sit on the
Yeah.
beach, watch and take notes. And I'm not even in the
Yeah.
salon anymore. I just love just hearing people's different takes on how they get butts in chairs. You know, you have to be
love to do it. Everyone's going to do it differently, right? Give you the same strategy. Each person's going to do it different. But come join us, Salon and Beauty Pro Marketing Education Group, and we'll see you in there. We'll rock and roll. Give you all the content you need to grow your biz.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too, Elaine. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks, everybody.